Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Nathan Hamilton, the son of Celluloid, right back here at Days of the Dead. And we were talking to Christine McCorkindale. How you doing today?
Hi.
Now, she was, of course, famous for playing Shuna Sassi in Nightbreed. When you first saw the makeup, did you realize that was going to be one of those indelible, like, it's one of the more iconic images from that movie? Did you realize that?
I did not realize it because there were so many amazing characters in that movie. I mean, I just felt like I was one of many.
Yeah, very true.
At the time, that's what I thought.
Now, there's not a lot of info out there about what you were doing before you got into. Were you I know you did some dance, or were you an actor? What were you doing before?
Mainly a dancer, and I had broken a bone in my foot a year or two before that, so I was pretty much at the end of my dance career.
Okay.
I was studying physical theater with David Glass, who choreographed the movement in Nightbreed, and that he recommended me to Clive Barker when he heard about Shuna Sassi, so that's how I got the role.
Okay. Were you? Did you know Clive's work beforehand, or were you just coming in fresh?
I'd heard of Hellraiser, but I hadn't seen it. So yeah, I'm more knowledgeable about science fiction than I am about horror.
Okay, cool. Now, there's not in the movie. There's really not a lot of backstory about your character. Did you guys kind of flesh out where she had come from, or were you just kind of playing it in the moment?
I was pretty much playing it in the moment.
Okay.
It was more about what I was told about Shuna Sassi was that she was very sensual, she was vicious, very territorial, she protected her own, very loyal. I didn't know much about her.
Okay. What was Clive like to work with, like, as a director?
Clive was great. He was he brought a really great intensity, and at the same time was kind of laid back. Certainly, friendly, boyish, not at all intimidating, and just he clearly takes a childlike delight in everything he does.
Now, we all, of course, know by now that what happened with the movie and how it got cut all to hell by the distributor. When did you know that was going on while you were finishing up the movie, or when you first saw it, what was your reaction?
When I first saw the movie, it was not what I thought it would be.
Right.
I have to admit I was disappointed because I had spent so much time on the set, which was beautiful, and the caves of Midian, and then it just turned out to be, it seemed like a kind of a schlock horror movie, and it was like, I thought this was going to be a little more serious and more character development for the so-called monsters.
Yeah. Well, luckily all that's kind of coming back now with the Cabal cut. Have you been surprised by the groundswell of support from the Occupy Midian thing, or did you kind of know that what audience was out there that wanted to see this?
Huge surprise.
Right.
Yeah, someone got in touch with me on Facebook in April of 2013 and said, people are looking for you. Russell Charrington, who's working on the Cabal cut, is looking for you, and it's
out of the blue.
Yeah. A stranger from England just sent me a friend request, and sometimes if I don't know someone, I just ignore them. And then I saw that he had this connection with Clive Barker and with other people, and I thought, this is strange. I'm just going to say yes, and it kind of started from there. And he put me in touch with a lot of people.
Cool.
And I'm grateful.
Aside from Nightbreed, one interesting credit I saw is you were stand-in for Jessica Rabbit.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I initially auditioned for the blonde bimbo, the beautiful blonde bimbo who was pushing the baby with the cigar. And at the time I had flaming red hair, and I was really very skinny and just not right for that part. But they liked me, and they said, you could be the stand-in for Jessica Rabbit, and because I had the long red hair, and so that's what I ended up doing. And it was mainly just the part where she comes out on stage and she interacts with Bob Hoskins.
Right. What was he like to work with?
He was amazing. Because I'm not really an actress. I'm a dancer, and he just kind of coached me. Okay. And he was a lot of fun to work with.
Awesome. Now, what are you up to these days? What have you been doing since the whole Nightbreed thing? What you got going on?
Well, Nightbreed was really the last thing I did. In film or any kind of show business. I went back to school.
Okay.
I taught yoga for several years, and I'm now working at Harvard Business School as a program technology analyst. Yeah, very different, great change of pace. But I love the security. I mean, being in show business is a very insecure profession, and if you're a dancer, you really have a very limited lifetime of doing that. And it was time. It was time. I just couldn't do it anymore. But I still love working out, doing yoga. I'm getting to do things that I didn't get to do in my 20s and 30s, like windsurfing and surfing, and learn to snowboard this winter. And I'm really into ceramics now. Awesome. And Sassi Ceramics is coming soon. So stay tuned, folks.
Definitely look for that.
Sassi Ceramics.
Thank you very much for sitting here talking to me. And keep it right here on Son of Celluloid for more interviews from Days of the Dead.